Hello, everyone. My name is Lita Abella. Welcome to my show, What's Your Story in the New Normal? I'm an entrepreneur, health and wellness consultant, licensed private investigator, public speaker, and former LAPD lieutenant. And in between all of that, I went to law school and obtained my JD. I tell stories that inform, inspire, and influence others. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Ginny Hawkins. And she's going to give us some tips on a subject that's really interesting to me right now because I just moved into a new home and I need all the tips I can get on home, interior, decorating, and styling, and so forth. So welcome, Ginny.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Lita.
So to get started, I just want the viewers to get to know you a little bit about your personal life. So, where are you from? Where do you live? Are you married? Do you have any children? So on and so forth.
Okay. Well, I actually was born in Illinois, in central Illinois, and I have lived in St. Louis, Missouri, in Little Rock, in Oklahoma City, in Pasadena, and now I live here in Azusa.
Oh, wow.
Dale community. So I do know a lot about homes and moving and real estate, and obviously I like to decorate. That's why I have moved 12 times in the last 40 years. So,
wow.
So I've lived in new homes, brand new homes, and we have contracted our own homes new, and then we've lived in a 1910 bungalow in Pasadena. So
Wow.
the whole spectrum. I've lived in apartments and condos and new homes, old homes, all of that. So.
And are you married? Do you have any children?
I've been married for 41 years to my husband.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think we're statistic. But
yes.
Anyway, we have two children. One, our daughter and her husband live in Pasadena. And our son and his family, our two grandchildren, and his wife live in Oklahoma City. So we just
That's amazing. 41 years. I think I can count on one hand the number of people that I know that have been married to one spouse that long. I know several people who've been married to several spouses, and if you put all the years together, it might equal 20 or 30 years, but 41 years. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's perseverance for sure. So anyway, so yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. Like I say, I've been an interior designer for almost 30 years. And part of that has been because I've moved so many times. We moved like 8 times in the same city when we were in Little Rock. So
wow.
Just because we built 2 houses, and so we had to live in rentals while we were building, etc. So lots of experience there.
Right. So you're a licensed realtor here in California.
Yes.
And you're also a certified professional stager.
Mm-hmm.
Certified professional real estate stager. And you're a certified interior designer and stylist.
Right. I'm also a certified color specialist and an update specialist and a staging and style master, actually, just certifications that I've gotten along the way. So.
Wow. So
yeah.
you have like 3 different occupations, but the one I'd like to focus on, because I really need to know this information, is about interior design and styling. So first, what does it take to get certified in that type of an occupation?
I started out in 1991. I went to a certification class with a gentleman in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where I was at the time. And he had a certification program that I went through. I wasn't sure that I just knew I liked design like you do, like everybody does. I didn't know if it would turn into a business or not, but as it turned out, I fell in love, and it turned into my career shortly after that. I then have gone, I worked with a multi-level marketing company when I started out that kind of taught me the ropes and taught me a lot of the details that I needed to know to sell interior design products and all that. So that was a lot of my experience there or my training. So that was another certification. So I've just done classes, throughout. I think that we should always be learning something new. So as a result,
I agree with you there. There's always new things for people to learn. And especially when you love doing it, it's your passion, it's so much more fun and enjoyable, and it motivates you to learn more and more.
yes.
So how does an interior designer go about choosing like colors and fabric and styles? Like when I see something, let's say on the internet, I'll be like, oh my God, that looks so beautiful. I like that. And then, oh, but I like this one. Well, I like that. And then all of a sudden it's like I have a mismatch of so many different pieces that really don't flow because I liked a little bit of this and that, and tying everything together. I think that's a hard part. So how do you go about doing all that?
My favorite way to do that, Lita, is to find something like a pillow or a piece of fabric or whatever that you really, really love. Like you really love it. And then kind of design around that. I like to, when I'm with clients, I like to look in their closets, to see if a client has all black and gray and white clothing, then I know they're not real fond of color. If they're very colorful, then I know I have a lot of leeway there. And I really like to have kind of I like to use a neutral palette, a neutral background. And then I really do like to design with the accessories that kind of pull in the colors that they like. So, figure out your favorite things, your favorite colors. I love to use texture, with throws and sometimes textured wallpaper or something like that to kind of make the main part of the room work, and then just accessorize around that.
So when you're saying you're using neutral colors, is that for like the furniture, or is that for the paint on the walls? Like what?
Paint on the walls mostly. I like to use something that's clean and light. My preference is, obviously I go with what my client likes. Personally, I like white. I like your background there with the white walls and then bringing in the color. So mostly I'm talking about walls, floors, keep those kind of a neutral palette. And that's kind of where you start with your design.
Oh, I see. Okay. So here we are in the year 2020, which has been a very challenging year to say the least. What is the fashion, like what are the color schemes? What is everybody using for their home decor in 2020?
Well, I'm not one to follow trends personally. I think we all have our personal preferences. I think this year some of the color trends are like purple and yellow. If you talk, right?
Really?
If you talk, so many times I'm not as fond as they are of the color of the year or whatever. I really prefer, like I was saying, to take a look at what you like and then work around that with what is popular. So I can say that like brass is back this year. And even in real estate, we recently staged a home that had all brass fixtures. And I was kind of like, let's leave those. They're really in right now. So, so that's in right now, brass, the shiny gold brass and gold. But again, colors there's a lot of teal, like my sweater. I see a lot of this color everywhere, and I work with it a lot. It goes with a lot of things. So anyway, that's kind of what, what the experts say are purple and yellow, but I'm an expert.
Really interesting.
That I like to go with what you like. So,
because I was just going to mention, like, purple's my favorite color, but I don't think I have anything as far as I can tell in my house that's purple. And it also happens to be the colors of the Lakers, which I love the Lakers.
yes.
And I think the only thing I have in my house that's purple and yellow is a Laker blanket that when it's wintertime, I have it thrown over the couch because, you just kind of use it to wrap yourself up. But other than that, I don't see myself putting purple in anything, because I think I'm more of a, like the beige and the neutral colors and just a little pop of color here and there, just to be so that it can match with more things. But that is so interesting. I'm going to have to take a look now at all the fashion magazines to see where the purple and yellow come from.
Yeah, we go to market, and they kind of determine the trends, if you will, the trends of the season. And markets are 2 times a year, so there's one in the summer and one in the winter. And so when that's where you find the current trends. So you can look at a website like Las Vegas Market and find out a lot of things. So.
Oh, okay. And then I noticed, well, we actually happen to live in the same development in Rosedale, which is a beautiful, beautiful development with homes that have been built maybe 10 years ago, all the way up to homes that were just built very, very recently, within a couple of years ago. And it seems like most of the advertisements that I've seen, there's still the stainless steel as far as like kitchen appliances,
right,
which has been around for several years, I believe now, which actually I like it because it blends in very nice. Is that something that's still okay, it's still in, or do you see appliances going into another color now?
I do believe it's still in, and I think it's one of those things that it is very neutral. So I think it'll be here for a while. But I have seen a trend in appliances lately that's kind of got a little bit, kind of going back to the little bit of copper. And I don't know if that's a good word to use, because it's not that brown copper, but it's more of a stainless, if you could picture a stainless steel with a little of a brown tone to it. That's become a little bit popular these days. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that. And as far as like flooring, I've seen a lot of homes that have the wood floors, which I think are beautiful. I don't see a lot of carpeted homes anymore, because I think it's, personally, for what I believe, I think it's cleaner, and number one, cleaner and easy to keep clean when you have either the hardwood floors or I don't want to say fake hardwood floors, but whatever they're called, like kind of fake hardwood floors.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think it looks so beautiful and rich.
Mm-hmm. I do
so
too.
Is that still the trend?
As far as flooring goes, I prefer either hardwood or tile, or there's tile that looks like wood. That's very popular because it's so easy to care for. And it looks pretty genuine, actually. They put a finish on it that makes it look like wood. But I prefer that personally, and I think a lot of people do, because of the cleanability, and a lot of people have pets, and carpets will, kind of retain the pet dander and everything that goes along with that. So I think that is a preference, although a lot of people want something warm under their feet when they're sitting on their sofa or when they're getting into their bed or whatever. So I work a lot with rugs in that regard. I'll use, on a hardwood floor or some solid surface floor. I use a lot of rugs. I'll use a rug with the living room arrangement. You can kind of maybe see that one behind me.
Yes, I was just going to mention that.
And then I'll use I'll often use one kind of halfway under a bed that gives you that warmth under your feet in your bedroom if you've got a hard floor. So
that's interesting. And then I remember back in the day when we all used to have like drapes and curtains and shears and mini blinds and vertical blinds.
right.
I see a lot of the homes now either have, like, I have these white, I guess they're blinds, but they're like made out of wood, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of the homes have that. What is the trend now as far as like window coverings?
Draperies aren't popular as they used to be. A lot of people that use draperies will just use panels on the side of the window to add a little warmth and color to the room, and I really like that. I think from a design standpoint, you need to have some color on all levels. Your color scheme, you need to use it on all the levels. You need to use it on the floor and in the middle of the room and at eye level. So if you have draperies that can kind of fulfill that need to have some color and design at eye level. But yes, there is a trend toward, a lot of people like plantation shutters, and they're beautiful, beautiful, but they're quite expensive. So it's an investment for sure. And those are sometimes limited. They sometimes limit the furniture that you can use, because if you're going to open them up, they don't need to bump into something. So, but a lot of people are using shades, just pull down shades that give them privacy and kind of let some light in. That's what I have in my home, and I love them. They give me privacy, but they also let quite a lot of light in. But there are all different kinds of shades. And Roman shades are very popular too, and those can be custom made with fabric as well, and that gives you color. So I love Roman shades.
Are Roman shades the ones that are like one piece, like an accordion?
They roll up, and they're fabric, and they just roll up like on top of themselves, I guess is how that's.
Okay, okay.
They give you a little color at the top of the window, and it's fabric, and then you can let them down, and they're pretty, and they give you privacy. Window treatments are basically for privacy, so we want to make them look as good as we can, but the main goal is privacy. So. I used to design and fabricate my own window treatments and bedding and pillows and all that stuff. I had a workroom in my home at one time when draperies were more popular, so I've made a lot of them myself.
Really? And that's kind of a follow-up to, or a segue into my next question is, for those of us that like to be economical, where are some places that you can get a really good deal, like not the high end like Beverly Hills or anything, but just the average person who likes to spruce up their house but doesn't have a huge budget?
Well, we all love home goods, so that's one of my number one spots to go for accessory type things. Their prices are really good, and they usually have a really great selection. And some of the discount department stores have home furnishings that are affordable and nice. I like to go to thrift stores and estate sales and things like that and find unusual things. If you buy everything at Home Goods, then your neighbor might have the same thing because we all shop there. So I do really like thrift stores and estate sales to find unusual pieces. So right now during COVID, that's kind of hard to do. I guess some of the thrifts are open, but I don't know how they're doing estate sales these days, but a lot of them are, I think.
That's interesting. Yeah, I actually have never been to a thrift store or an estate sale, so That would
Oh,
be something new
maybe
for
we'll
me to
go
do.
sometime. Right.
And home goods, I just discovered maybe a couple of years ago. And the one place I just discovered literally last weekend was a place called Hobby Lobby. My
Yeah.
friend told me about it, and I thought it was because she likes to do crafts, and I'm like, oh, that's not me. I'm not a person that's very good at making things, so I thought it was just a craft store. I went in there, and I was literally there for like 4 hours. I lost my mind. It was like going to Disneyland.
I should have mentioned that too, because in Oklahoma, in Oklahoma City, where I moved from, that's where that was founded. And so we had Hobby Lobby on about every major intersection in Oklahoma City. And there aren't so many of them here. So um,
Right.
yes, I have, there's one in Burbank, and I think there's one maybe in West Covina or
Yes, that's the one I went
near
to.
me. So yes, that's a great resource. They have a lot of great things. So, and good prices.
Yes, yes. As far as like furniture, do you have any other stores that you can recommend or that you like to go to that?
Um, well, I buy furniture wholesale because of my staging business. So a lot of the things that I have, I mean, as far as furniture personally, I usually will buy from my resources that I have. But as far as stores in the local area, probably the one I would um, recommend might be Living Spaces. They have a lot
Oh,
of, they have a really good selection of furniture most of the time with different price points. There's also a store called Mathis Brothers. It's in Ontario, so I don't know if a lot of people would go there because it's a little bit farther away from LA, um, but that's a pretty good place for a lot of price points. You know, you can get high end to very affordable furniture at both of those stores. So.
yes. As a matter of fact, my bedroom set's from Living Spaces, and I've definitely heard of Mathis Brothers because they have the commercials on. And
Right.
I mean, Ontario's not that far from us. It's probably 20 minutes east.
It's not bad.
I've never been there, but I should check it out one day. As far as trends with furniture, anything going on there?
Um, I think I'm seeing a little, well, it's pretty trendy to get a little bit more modern style furniture. I don't see a whole lot of very traditional carvy wood things like I used to see, and unless it's at an estate sale. But
Hmm.
so yeah, I think that the tendency is a little bit toward more modern lines. Um, I guess as far as a trend, that's what I would say. It's getting a little cleaner. I really feel like it's important to. I think less is more, and I think the more modern furniture has a little bit simpler lines and has a very good look in most places. You can kind of decorate it to be traditional or contemporary because it's right there in the middle. So,
Hmm.
and there's not a lot of color in sofas, or usually you can find an accent chair with some colored fabric, but most sofas tend to be kind of a gray or beige or whatever, and then you use the pillows to pop the colors.
Okay.
So
Oh my God, I had a question in my head and now it
one
just
thing I would
left.
say that I think it's important for people who are decorating to trust their own choices, because I think a lot of people think they need to hire a decorator to tell them what they need, when in fact you know what you like and you know what you want. And sometimes, like, we have a service called the one day makeover, where we can come in and just kind of use what you have and maybe put it in a different room or a place than you thought it should go. um, take what you have and move it around, change it up a little bit, maybe add just a few things, and make it a lot more affordable than trying to redecorate the whole room or the whole house. So that's something I think people need to trust, the fact that, like you said, you have a lot of things and they don't all go together. It may be just that you need a little expertise to pull them all together.
So that's interesting, a one-day makeover service. So how much would something like that cost?
Kind of depends on, how many rooms you want, but anywhere from $500 to $1,000 could get you, most of your house rearranged and spruced up. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So we're almost at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any last minute things that you want to bring up that I didn't ask that you feel is important?
As far as interior design and staging, I think that in regard to real estate, because I'm a realtor, I kind of have to talk about the staging a little bit. Just to say that staging your home for sale can make it look very, very much more livable, and really kind of let people see how they would live in the home. So I think that's something that if you're thinking about selling a home, I think it's important to kind of look into what the possibilities are for that as well. And even, it doesn't have to be a vacant home. It can be, again, using what you have, helping edit it out, get, less is more. So get rid of the clutter, and just clean it up a little bit. And anyway, and that's another thing that we can't do during COVID too much, because when houses are occupied, you don't want to exchange air. But once COVID's over, that's something else that's very doable for getting your house ready for sale.
Yes, yes. That's very important in information for sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as if people want to talk to you some more about your services, what's the best contact information for you?
Well, you can go to my website. It is LifeSpaces with an S, Interiors.com. That has some pictures of our work, some shows all of our services and all of that. So you can use the contact me form on my website to get in touch. Also, my phone number is there. So that's probably the best way, is to go through the website, which is LifeSpacesInteriors.com.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on the show and give us some great information on interior design and styling of homes, which I'm sure everyone finds very, very interesting. Whether you've just moved into a new home or you want to, like you said, spruce up what you have, like just even moving furniture around and rearranging in different places and maybe adding a different color here or there. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and hiring a professional such as yourself, a lot of times you look at things and because you've been sitting there for so long looking at it, you can't see what opportunities there are in a space. But
Exactly.
Somebody like you can come in and just say, oh, all you have to do is add this, do that, move this, and boom, it's a whole new living space for you.
Exactly. And I also want people to not be afraid of the expense, because they think of an interior designer as expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. I can work within your budget and work with you on that. So.
Okay. Well, great. And I'm going to put all your contact information in the show notes. So if anybody would like to get some more information about the services you provide as a realtor, as a stager, and as a designer and stylist. So Thank you very much for your time. And thank you to my viewers. And make sure that you like this episode and please subscribe. So thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.